No fake news here. This is NWO Report World News.
All eyes were on impeachment as the Democrats ripped the country apart just in time for the holiday season.
Because no one is above the law, and he shall be held accountable.
Let's give him a fair trial and hang him.
Meanwhile, the second testimony of Justice Department Inspector General Michael Horowitz was largely overlooked.
I would certainly encourage people to read the 19-page executive summary.
Testifying in front of the Senate's Homeland Security Committee, Horowitz clarified that he hadn't reached the conclusion that the FBI's sloppy investigation of the 2016 Trump campaign, known as Crossfire Hurricane, wasn't born of political bias. Instead, Horowitz doubled down on all of the disturbing findings concerning the FBI's team and its managers.
We're concerned that under applicable FBI and department policy, it would have been sufficient for a first-line FBI supervisor to authorize the sensitive domestic CHS operations undertaken in Crossfire Hurricane, and that there is no department or FBI policy requiring the FBI to notify department officials of a decision to task CHSs to record conversations with members of a political presidential campaign. We concluded that current department and FBI policies are not sufficient to ensure appropriate oversight and accountability of such operations. As we describe in our report, the FISA statute and department and FBI policies and procedures have established important safeguards to protect the FISA application process from irregularities and abuse. Among the most important are the requirements that every FISA application contain a full and accurate presentation of the facts, and that all factual statements are, quote, scrupulously accurate, close quote. We found that investigators failed to meet their basic obligation that the FISA applications be scrupulously accurate. We identified significant inaccuracies and omissions in each of the 4 applications, 7 in the first FISA application, and a total of 17 by the final renewal application. As a result of these significant inaccuracies and omissions, the FISA applications made it appear as though the evidence supporting probable cause was stronger than it actually was.
In both of these investigations, you found political bias.
We found, through the text messages, evidence of people's political bias, correct.
Why would all of these people 4 times over the space of half a year deliberately mislead a federal court?
But that was precisely the concern we had, is what you lay out. There are so many errors, we couldn't reach a conclusion or to make a determination on what motivated those failures, other than we did not credit what we lay out here with the explanations we got.
Your conclusion that there was that political bias did not affect any part of the Page investigation, any part of Crossfire Hurricane? Is that what you concluded?
Not. We have been very careful in connection with the FISAs for the reasons you mentioned to not reach that conclusion, in part, as we've talked about earlier, the alteration of the email, the text messages associated with the individual who did that.
All of this flies in the face of what the media originally reported.
Here it is, 430 pages from the Inspector General of the Justice Department. Has been working on this for almost 2 years now. And what it says is that the Inspector General found no political bias in the FBI.
The Justice Department's internal watchdog released a highly anticipated report about surveillance into the Trump campaign in 2016. It found no evidence of political bias, but it did find some serious flaws.
Meanwhile, Hillary Clinton lackey, former FBI Director James Comey, has used up every excuse he had at his disposal.
17 significant errors in the FISA process.
He's right. There was real sloppiness. 17 things that either should have been in the applications or at least discussed and characterized differently. It was not acceptable. And so he's right. I was wrong.
Well, it was kind of a non-apology apology. He essentially said, well, we were sloppy. No, you weren't sloppy. The FBI, the Inspector General found the FBI falsified evidence in the FISA process. Falsifying evidence. How do you accidentally falsify evidence?
In fact, after meeting with Barack Obama in early January of 2017, he took that dossier and went to President Trump, or then President-elect Trump, and confronted it with him, with it. And he used that meeting as part of the investigation of Crossfire Hurricane. He ran downstairs and ran over to the secure video conference to talk to his Crossfire Hurricane team about what he discovered. He was spying on Trump directly, and to say this was all happening 7 layers below him was a big lie.
As the origins of a still mysterious spy ring and its funding could potentially be cracked open by the upcoming Barr-Durham investigation.
Given the repeated errors, some would say abuses of the FISA process, does Attorney General Barr have a point?
No. He does not have a factual basis as the Attorney General of the United States to be speculating that agents acted in bad faith. The facts just aren't there. Full stop. That doesn't make it any less consequential, any less important, but that's an irresponsible statement.
So he says that was an irresponsible statement. What do you say?
He's lost his mind. How many of these close calls went in favor of President Trump? I mean, when they changed the email, was it to help Trump or hurt him? When they put the dossier material in, was it to help Trump or hurt him? When they put the DNC-funded Fusion GPS research material, was that to help Trump or to hurt him? Everything that happened was done to hurt Donald Trump.
John Bound reporting.